and welcome to another episode of the world's most famous chess combinations. I'm your host Valdemar. The great Alexander Aljechin was a great tactician who played many an imaginative combination. We will now look at the end of his game against Bogoljubow, which was played in Hastings 1922. In this position it is Aljechin, black, to move. He played b4 and Bogoljubow answered rook takes a8. Now Aljechin took the queen and black answered with rook e8, also taking the queen. Now can you see which move Aljechin played to get a decisive advantage? Don't forget that at the moment he's a rook down. So if you like, pause the video, I will count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He played c2, allowing also his other rook to be taken with check. Rook takes f8 followed, king h7, but now white was faced with a promotion that he cannot stop. He decided to play knight f2, the best place for the attack knight. There now follows c1, promotes the queen, attacking both the king and the knight. So black has regained, so to say, the material. He now has a queen for 2 rooks. There followed knight f1, and even though it is materially more or less balanced, white is lost due to the scattered and bottled up position of his forces. Aljechin now played knight e1, attacking the rook here on g2. So there followed rook h2, the only square. If white, by the way, would try king h2 in this position, then there would follow knight f3 check, king h3, and now black can take on f1, but knight g4 is even stronger. And that knight cannot be taken on account of knight takes g4, f takes g4, check, mate. So back to the game, where Bogoljubow played rook h2. Now Aljechin snatches a pawn with queen takes c4. And he now threatens to play bishop e8, locking up the rook on f8 and threaten to take it with queen b4 on the next move. So Bogoljubow saw that coming and he played here rook b8. With a lot of pieces seemingly scattered around the board, Aljechin is now in his element. He plays bishop b5, threatening mate here on f1. Now if white defends against that threat with knight d2, then there would follow queen c1, rook b5, knight f3 double check, king g2, queen g1 check, king h3, and queen takes h2, checkmate. So after bishop b5, Bogoljubow did not play knight d2, but he decided to sacrifice the exchange. He played here rook takes b5. Of course, Aljechin recaptured the rook now with queen takes b5, and he now has a decisive lead in material, and white tries his last attempt at staying alive. He plays g4, trying to break up the white squares a little bit. But Aljechin plays knight f3, attacking both king and rook here, so forcing the exchange on f3 and bringing the black pawn on e4 into an even more menacing position. Bishop takes f3, e takes f3. Now there followed g takes f5, and after the last move, queen e2, Bogoljubow resigned. And he resigned because he's in some sort of a zugzwang. For instance, there could follow knight g3, but then this pawn on e3 falls, and after knight f1 also the pawn on d4 falls, or after queen e2 the funny knight h3, knight g4, sacrificing the queen, rook takes e2, and after f takes e2, we see a repetition of the beautiful theme that the knight on the back rank, when attacked by a pawn on the 7th, or on the 2nd, as in this case, simply cannot help itself. And that brings us to the end of this video, in which we saw Aljechin play a nice and imaginative combination. I'm your host, Waldemar, signing off. Bye!